our population as a whole. Despite that, the vast stretches of the unknown and the unanswered and the unfinished still far outstrip our collective comprehension. No man can fully grasp how far and how fast we have come. But condense, if you will, the 50,000 years of man's recorded history in a time span of but a half a century.
I remember
Stated
when,
in these terms,
we
know very little about the first 40
my
years,
mind.
except at the end of them, advanced
There was
men had
something
learned
so
to use
special
the skins
about
of
that
animals to
place.
cover them. Then about 10 years
Maybe
ago,
your emotions had
under
an
this
echo
standard,
with so
man emerged from
much
his caves
space.
to construct other kinds of shelter. Only 5 years ago, man learned to write
When you're
and
out
use a cart with
there,
wheels.
yeah,
Christianity
I was
began
out
less
of
than 2 years ago.
touch.
The printing press came
Well,
this
it's
year.
no coincidence.
And then less than 2 months ago, during this
Maybe
whole
your emotions
50-year
had an
span of
echo.
human history,
It's so
the steam
much
engine
space.
provided a new source of power. Newton explored the meaning of
Does
gravity.
that make me crazy?
Last month, electric lights and telephones and automobiles,
Does that make me
airplanes became available.
crazy?
Only last week did we develop
Does
penicillin
that
and
make me
television
crazy?
and nuclear power. And now, if America's new spacecraft
Just like
succeeds
me.
in reaching Venus, we will have literally reached the stars before midnight tonight. This is a breathtaking pace, and such a pace cannot help but create new ills as it dispels old. New ignorance, new problems, new dangers. Surely the opening vistas of space promise high costs and hardships, as well as high reward. So it is not surprising that some would have us stay where we are a little longer, to rest,
When you're out
wait.
there,
But this city of Houston,
yeah, I was out
this state of Texas,
touch.
this country of the United States was
Well,
not
it's
built
no
by those who waited and
coincidence I
rested
fall.
and wished to look behind them.
I just need to know. Does
This
that
country
make
was
me
founded
crazy?
by those who moved forward, and so
Does
will
that
space.
make me crazy?
William Bradford, speaking
Does
in
that
the
make me
1830s
crazy?
of the founding of the Plymouth Bay Colony, and that
Probably.
all great and honorable actions are accompanied with great difficulty,
I remember
and
when.
both must be enterprised and overcome.
I remember when I lost my
If
mind.
this capsule history of our progress teaches us anything,
There was something
it
so
is
special
that man in
about
his
that
quest for
day.
knowledge and progress is determined and
Maybe
cannot be
your
deterred.
emotions had an
The
echo.
exploration of space will go ahead,
So much
whether we
space.
join in it or not. And it is one of the great adventures of all time. And no nation which expects to be the leader of other nations can expect to stay behind in this race for space. Those who came before us made certain that this country rode the first waves of the Industrial Revolution, the first waves of modern invention, the first wave of nuclear power. And this generation does not intend to founder in the backwash of the coming age
I
of
remember
space.
when.
We mean to be
I
a part of
remember
it. We mean
when I
to lead
lost
it.
my mind. There was something so special
the eye of
about
the
that
world,
place.
Now look into space,
Maybe your
to the
emotions
moon,
had an echo.
and to the planets beyond.
So much
And we
space.
have vowed that we shall not see it governed by a hostile flag of
Does that
conquest,
make me crazy?
but by a banner of freedom and peace. We have vowed that we
Does
shall
that
not
make
see
me
space filled with weapons of mass destruction, but with instruments
Does
of
that
knowledge
make me
and
crazy?
understanding. Yet the vows of this nation can only be fulfilled
Probably.
if we in this nation are first, and therefore we intend to be first.
I remember when I lost my mind.
In short, our leadership in science and industry, our hopes for peace and security, our obligations to ourselves as well as others, all require us to make this effort, to solve these mysteries, to solve them for the good of all men, and to become the world's leading spacefaring nation. We set sail on this new sea because there is new knowledge to be gained and new rights to be won, and they must be won and used for the progress
When you're
of
out
all
there,
For space science,
yeah, I was out of
like nuclear
touch.
science and all technology, has no conscience of its own. Whether it will become a force for good or ill depends on man. And only if the United States occupies a position of preeminence can we help decide whether this new ocean will be a sea of peace or a new terrifying theater of war. I do not say that we should or will go unprotected against the hostile misuse of space any more than we go unprotected against the hostile use of land or sea.
All right.